to this month's full moon recording of Gemini full moon, and it's also an eclipse. So it's quite an intense energy, and I'm sure most of you are feeling it already. And it's partly to do with the fact that Neptune's gone direct. So we've got this big planet that has actually been also holding our visions back. And we are also allowing to shed a new, shed our skin, if you like, or shed the old, a very karmic tie. The Gemini is a mutable sign, and it also is the current North Node point. So which also tells us that it is going to be something of a karmic shift and a collective one as well. So everybody's going to be affected. And wherever it falls in your chart, you're going to feel it the most. Okay, I don't go into the big astrology story here, but if you actually want to look up where Gemini is in your own chart, and then you can correlate it. For example, mine falls in the 7th house, which is to do with partnerships and relationships. So there was a lot of emotion for me that was coming up to do with my past relationships and possible emotional completions that needed to happen. So wherever you are, it could be to do with your family, it could be your current situation with your family, it could be also how you earn your income, or to do with your inner growth and your development. Again, there are 12 houses, okay, and Gemini will be falling in one of them. So do pay attention where you might be feeling the pull and emotional closure maybe that needs to happen, or perhaps maybe where you can be being aggravated, okay. Gemini also is ruled by Mercury. So it is very much a time of a lot of mental noise, and you want to be really paying attention to what is coming up in your mind, what kind of chat you are having with yourself, as well as maybe the kind of energy that is surrounded or is surrounding you. Okay, be very mindful for the next few days. That this full moon is actually on the November the 30th. I'm recording this on the 28th. So you, like I said, you'll already be feeling it. So if you can abstain from too much social media, Facebook, all this COVID noise, there's a lot of people falling into debates. There's a lot of people getting really upset about things. There's a lot of people who are holding on to their own ideas and theories, and it can all be very, very aggravating and also very upsetting. So just know that also that if it is, you know, if you're feeling that people are sort of voicing their opinions or getting really sort of shirty and assy about things, it has nothing to do with you, but perhaps more to do with their feelings around certain issues, whatever that may be. So without further ado, I want to talk, obviously this is to do with the Gemini full moon. My readings often are a full week kind of period of reading. I'm doing a slightly different format today, and I'm going to give you an overall forecast to what my take and my feelings are about this Gemini full moon as well, to do with the energy of this full moon. Okay, I mean, there's lots of readers out there, lots of people do readings in a different way. So, you know, and some of you could be cross watchers with different sort of, you know, YouTube channelers. But for me, I think what's really coming up with this energy of the Gemini, because it's to do with the Mercury, I think also it's to do with the power of our thinking and our thoughts. And I've done an overall sort of overarching, I'm looking down at the cards because I've already done the card pull for the general. And what I've done, decided this time, just trying something new. I have a very small table here. I'm actually based in Portugal right now, and staying at a friend's house, and I'm ad hocing at my kind of like office room. And in fact, it is one of their spare bedrooms where I have Wi-Fi as well, because of course Wi-Fi connections are quite tough through these big, thick stone walls, as you can see. Anyhow, so doing it slightly differently, I felt sort of creatively motivated to do 3 different piles of reading. So we've got a pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and you can choose one of them, and I'll go into that. So the overall climate, I feel, like I said, to do with Gemini, I really feel the chakra that's most poignant that you might want to concentrate on is to do with your sovereignty, to do with your self-worth, to do with your self-esteem, and to do with your honoring and power. All right, I feel that the energy is so intense at the moment, whether it's an emotional one or an external one, you know, you're going to be pulled in different directions, and it's really important that you take care of you. Okay, so while this is also about self-love, this is more for me about holding and being clear about your container of yourself and others, and leaving it out whatever others I won't say bullshit, but whatever issue they've got, keep it out, make sure your boundaries are firm. And it really is about owning your full power. Now I've got 4 cards here and they're all very similar. And like I said, it's very solar plexus bias. And that's what I've been feeling myself and experiencing as well. So it's really important that this is about self-mastery of the self. Okay, we're moving into times now where there's so much noise going on. And I've seen people around me getting very upset, getting affected by so much stimulation of the news and the streams of different opinions around what's going on, and the fears about the vaccine and the fears about what it means, whether people can travel, can see the families, not this and that and the other. And there's so much shift going on and nobody really knows where things are going to go. But there's a lot of controversy and a lot of sort of debate. So try and hold your own center, because that's the only thing you've got is control of yourself. Okay, so one of the first cards I want to share wasn't my first card I pulled, but it says surrender to the full power. Okay, now these cards are by, I forget, let's have a look. Okay, but the Power of Surrender cards by Judith Orloff. Okay, I love these cards and I don't use them every month, but in any case, we just start with this one. So this is saying that your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. This is the other thing with this full moon as well, is that you really put your intention and don't get pulled into negative thoughts or thinking or other people's negativity. So the full power remains with you. Okay, and the buck stops with you as well, or it starts or stops with you as well. Okay, so this is a really good time. We're coming into the end of the year closure, not quite, we've still got a month away, but I'm sure a lot of people will be really glad to sort of reflect back maybe on what this year has so far taught them. And there is, like I said, a very much of a karmic ending to do with this Gemini full moon, because it's also hitting its axis point of the North Node, which is about moving into new soul evolution. So this is really, I feel like people stepping into their own power and allowing themselves to start really dreaming up, visioning, and really seeing where they want to be, how they want to start living their lives, and actually really sort of dismantling all the old belief systems that are no longer serving them, be it people or ideas or possibly even projects or any kind of thing that you might have been doing up till now. This, of course, is a general reading, so it's not going to, sort of relate to everybody, but I reckon there's a really large percentage of people that's going to be affecting. Okay, this is very much a self-mastery time as well. So I pulled a chakra card, which is actually called self-mastery. Okay, and I also happen to have this card, which is not only got a moon over it, but this is also the master card. So again, both these cards are very, very similar. Okay, and this is about taking ownership and being a master of yourself, a master of your emotions, and a master of how you think and how you feel. Now, in this card, there are all the 7 chakras. Okay, but for me, I can feel that the solar plexus particularly is showing up and brightened. But working with all your chakras is a really good habit to get into. It's a positive ritual and cleansing and then tuning up, and one that really helps to strengthen and dissolve any old negative thinking and patterns. Okay, each chakra is actually associated to a lot of different elements of yourself in your life. But you don't actually have to know how it correlates. You just have to actually just focus on each chakra color by color, visualize them spinning, getting stronger and stronger in the color, or just follow any YouTube. I've got quite a few also on my channel, so you can check it out there. I'll put the link below. And yeah, I would say that, this is a really fine time to actually recognize where the gift lies with all that is going on around you and what's showing up, and finding the gift so you can actually empower yourself rather than getting hijacked by the smallness of people, as well as small and victimization, which is a small way of being in life, as well as maybe how you might want to engage powerfully in your life, and where can you implement that sense of power in your life as well. Now, the other thing which I thought was really interesting is I have these sort of kind of homemade chakra cards with different mantras on them. And again, this was a solar plexus card that came out. Okay, and my attention is going to, which will be now going across the screen, I am empowered as I release a need to live up to other people's unrealistic expectations of me. Now, this is a time when a lot of people are feeling very powerless with what's going on out there. Okay, there's a lot of fear around that, and there is power in powerlessness. Okay, it's up to you to find where that power is, and often it is within yourself. Again, if you go into my website, there is, and I might put a link here again in the description box, there is an essay or an article that I did write about power versus powerlessness. I wrote it some time back, so I'm sure there'll be nuggets of wisdom or insight there that would really help you along this time, and particularly this full moon energy that is bringing a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, confusion, overthinking, and almost as if your mind is creating a sort of a negative story. Okay, that's when you're also losing your sense of self, sense of balance. So yeah, another mantra here could be, I honor myself by doing things that please me, not only that please others. So if you're one of those people that tends to get pulled by what other people want, or you find yourself, you know, that you were planning on doing something and then other people come with you, and before you know it, you've not actually been doing what you want to do, just notice that it is okay, just accept it, all right? But maybe you can actually start implementing what would please you and doing things. Okay, it could be that you might want to go for a walk. You might have decided that you were going to stay at home, and then you found that everybody else was going to go out, and then you suddenly decide to change your mind because you don't want to be on your own. Be mindful all these sort of times where you actually, in the end, abandon yourself or actually self-negate your real true desires. Okay, it is really important that you start tuning into the finer sense of core living, so you can actually start feeling vibrant and start feeling liberated. Okay, fear is only imposed when we start handing over our security, our sense of love to other people, and our attachments to other people as well. Okay, here's another one. I know I am worthy of love and respect, and the boundaries I create with others acknowledge my self-worth. So this one also brings up for me, maybe in terms of a read, that maybe perhaps you know that some people have been actually quite sort of, might be tearing you down, or might be kind of rude, or sort of showing up to be quite critical of you. Maybe it could be your employer or somebody you're getting to know, or it could be somebody around you, some friends and whatever. Pay attention to when you notice and feel that that is what's going on, and it is up to you to make the boundaries clear. By all means, address it, and you find that it's not being perhaps, you know, taken account for, or somebody taking accountability for perhaps maybe how they spoke to you and stuff. Perhaps you know that they're not actually vibrating on your level of truth for you. This is about your truth and not what somebody else thinks or believes about you. Okay, so it says here, the boundaries I create with others acknowledge my self-worth. So you might feel like you want to pull back, or actually have very little association with whoever that could be. So I know sometimes this could be difficult, especially if it's a work associate or somebody, a member of family, or you might be falling out with a partner right now because of all the stress of everything that's going on around you. But it is still up to you to sort of, you know, create the space, if you like. And even if it means going out for only a few moments, you know, 10 minutes of the day, and cultivating on connecting to your spirit and your soul. All right, so these are the main messages that's to do with your power. And I really recommend that you focus, if anything, on the one chakra, which will be the solar plexus chakra. Now, interestingly, my message that I got, and some of you have been following now, I sort of get, or I would not get, but I really rather sort of sit quietly for a few moments before I start recording and ask for what message would be the most potent and powerful message I could impart to those listening to this video. Okay, and I got quite a long message today. So it says, be brave. So this could be pertaining to some of you. Okay, so some of you could be feeling very fearful, or maybe wanting to take a step forward in life, or maybe letting go of a relationship that you need to really know, you know, deep down that you need to do, and it requires you being brave. Or it might be to do with speaking up for yourself, or speaking, bringing maybe a partner up to sort of par or up to light with maybe what's really going on with you. Okay, so whatever's going on, the question here, or rather statement here, is to be brave. Or even the question could be, where am I not really being brave about something? All right, so I'll just read it. It says, be brave, not a time to fight what is going on. Be still and connect to spirit. Okay, good times ahead. And I feel like with the good times ahead also, I felt like there's going to be an easing out, okay, an easing out during the times ahead. Okay, so I think there's a lot of pressure and we're feeling the pressure and there's a lot of worry about some pressure that people are feeling, but there are some good times ahead despite the restrictions that we're feeling and hearing about around the world currently. Okay, and it says here to love is to connect with yourself. So again, by connecting to your core, to connecting to yourself, this is how you love. Okay, this is how you can offer love, how you can offer yourself support, as well as support other people that you might want to be more loving to. But the most important person to start with is to love. So it says to love yourself. So to love is to connect with yourself. Okay, so very important that you do that and take yourself out, possibly for walks out in nature, or, you know, close the door and put a sign saying do not disturb, or just make it work so you can actually have some personal me time. Very, very important in the next few days, particularly for the next few up and coming weeks. Okay, so moving on to the sort of the more chosen reading. Okay, so I've got 3 gemstones here, okay, and pile of 4 cards which look like that, and I haven't seen them. Okay, I've not looked at them, they're just all face down. So we're gonna have a look. So this is for the amethyst. This is pile 1, okay, for the amethyst. So anybody choose who I might want to choose as amethyst. I'll just go through this stone. The second choice of gemstone is green Aventurine. Okay, this is a heart chakra gemstone. Some of you might choose all 3. Okay, you can read it as, you know, okay, and this, like I said, is the first one is the amethyst. This is to do with connection to yourself, connection to your higher self, as well as also a very calming stone at the moment. And this would be quite good to put underneath your pillow or to carry around you at this time to help you feel quite sort of relaxed in the mind as well. Okay, it's a very calming stone. I'll come back to another gemstone which I want to also recommend for this month. And this third choice is my pyramid smoke quartz crystal. Okay, smoky quartz. Okay, so we've got the amethyst for the first one, green Aventurine for the second one, and the smoky quartz. All right, so take a moment to just tune into yourself and perhaps choose one. Okay, if you feel that you move to choose 2, do. If you choose all 3, then do. Okay, there's no hard, you know, rule, but I am going to be reading it in a pile fashion to start with. Okay, so now I've got 3 major arcana cards on it, of 1 for each. Okay, so for those who chose the amethyst, this is what we've got. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we've got the card of the sun. So this is a fantastic card to be getting at this time. This is an energy of maybe expansion for some of you. This is about sharing yourself out with the world, or starting to think about how you want to share yourself out in the world. I'm just going to go ahead and open all the cards so I can maybe make more of a cohesive read. Okay. All right. Well, this is really quite interesting. Okay. Some of you, okay, there's 2 things here. Okay, we've got here surrender to your addiction. So some of you could actually be sort of stuck on thinking too much and actually maybe just going over in your mind. I can't help but feel that this is more to do with your mindset. Okay, some of you this could be also with a physical addiction, of maybe smoking too much or drinking a lot, or maybe you've sort of fallen into a habit of actually sort of spending time socially, or sort of at home, you know, sort of just guzzling through the wine or the beers or whatever it is, or some kind of addiction. It could be also an addiction towards people as well. So you might feel dependent on people. So this full moon could be really bringing that up. I think it's somewhere with the sun card as well. It could be also highlighting where that could be happening. Okay, this is a really good opportunity for you to release yourself and to start expanding your core being. I mean, if you look at the main color here, this is also very vibrantly yellow. Okay, this is also, there are 2 cherubs beneath the this is also, there's a snake there. So I feel like in some way, this is very much about purging the old and releasing yourself from any story that you might sort of be holding on to, or a memory of the past, or memory of a relationship, or even memories about how things used to be. Okay, you know, some people are really stuck on the pre-COVID times and stuff, and are just so afraid where life is going to go. This is about time of really allowing yourself to feel the joy of life as it is, which is interesting because the angel card here for the amethyst people I've got also is acceptance. Can you see? Okay, so acceptance very much for me is about also accepting what is here, maybe accepting also people about how they're showing up. All right, but it doesn't mean to say that you have to step into their threshold or into their space. If they're negative, I would suggest that you leave it. If you you can maybe sort of speak to them and ask them that, maybe they tone it down if they're over negative, or maybe sort of carve some few moments of the day about maybe when they want to harp on about what's going on. But the other thing is, when it comes to self-mastery, it is very much about acceptance of what's going on out there. Okay, and you can actually block people or things out. I also feel that for some of you as well, what's coming up for me is on the days that there are sunshine, I really recommend that you do go out to nature and actually connect and really take in the sun rays to keep you grounded and very focused. For some of you, this could be also some new expansive visions. You might feel the download of some, or maybe start a really good time to be visioning something new. Okay, I feel also that, with the sort of surrender of the addictions, the more you get rid of things that have held you back, or the security that you feel that you've had through the idea of maybe a particular job, or we don't realize that we can be actually addicted to anything. Okay, I mean, at extreme levels, of addiction. But if you relied on anything, okay, and when you're so afraid to let go of it, that is a form of addiction. So it could be a partnership, it could be a job, it could be anything that's actually not serving you or make you feel ill, okay, or over worrying about certain things that are not even true within your relationship, or maybe things that you're not addressing. Okay, so I do feel that there's something around that. Okay, now the other cards I'm using for this is called the Empowering deck. Okay, and these are questions to think about. So for the people who chose the Amethyst card, what does being mean to me? Okay, which is interesting because my message was be still and connect to spirit. That's the idea of being. Okay, what does that mean? That's when you really connect to your spirit. So, but what does it mean to you? All right, so again, maybe you want to take some time and reflect on what does being mean to you? Okay. And take some time, I think, as well, to actually be in the moment. All right, staying grounded and perhaps not allowing the mind to go further than the now, or further than the day, the day that you're experiencing. Okay, I guess there are lots of people who tend to sometimes sort of really move through life in a fear zone, and are always thinking ahead of things and trying to map things out and trying to plan things out. And what happens is you find that you can't actually control everything, and that's where the fear comes in. Okay, and that's where you feel powerless. And finally, what's also interesting here is the moon card, moonology card. Okay, these are the cards I use definitely around the new moon now and full moon. And for the Amethyst people, the message here is nothing is yet set in stone. All right. So again, some of you could be having, sort of negative thoughts that's reeling round or going round and round, saying what's going to happen this and what's going to happen to that, and what if so and so this happens to so and so, and what if I don't have enough money. It's all this sort of negative things, and just know that nothing is set in stone. I mean, some people who are actually around at the moment are so hijacked by this whole COVID story, getting very upset about certain things, and yet they don't even know. None of us know how things are going to pan out. And yet there's a lot of heat and a lot of conversation that's going on. And we've got to understand that nothing's set in stone. Okay, particularly, the kind of idea of not being able to travel without, I really don't want to get involved in all this right now, but there is certain things about, I think, if somebody's holding on to a thought, an idea, or a plan, and making it rigid, I really suggest that you loosen up, just get a bit more playful as well, okay? Just accept what is going on out there, but just know that there's nothing set in stone. So just let go and just let be. So that is my message for those with the Amethyst stone. So now moving on to the second gemstone, if you chose this one, let's have a look. Okay, well, you've got the almost like the wish card of the angel cards, which means you can fill anything up with that. So maybe what would you like the angel to offer you? What is the advice that you might want or need to hear right now? And perhaps just trust what comes to you. This could also mean a very much of an expansion, or very much an openness, and to be open to receiving possibly what could be coming in for you as well. Okay, so this is always a wild card for me. Okay, and the let's have a look. Okay. Right. All right, the 4 cards I've got here is also going inward. Okay, this is the Hermit. This often also tells me about, actually, this is also to do with kind of being centered in yourself, you know, allowing yourself to sort of maybe briefly look at the past, and maybe we can connect the dots. And I think there's a lot of reflection going on for a lot of people because there's this karmic burning. So maybe people who have chosen the green Aventurine are particularly feeling that sense of loss, that sense of movement, and need to be thinking about movement forward. And in order to do that, you really need to tune into yourself and perhaps get quiet and remove yourself from the general, you know, members of people around you or your family. Okay, make sure you take some time out. The Hermit is very much for me about a time of new beginnings and sowing new seeds. Okay, this little sort of, there's like a little sperm there. Okay, and again, this is time of birthing new ideas. And sometimes we just really need to get quiet and maybe sort of incubate ourselves and, you know, sort of contain ourselves in a space that is reflective. Okay. For some, I feel also there could be also a need to tune in, and maybe you might be feeling some darkness around you. So there could be some shadow work that needs to be looked at, maybe some feelings of emotional, what's that word? Kind of emotional purging, okay, sort of emotions from the past, or you might be feeling an emotional upset brewing or some tears. And again, this is a really good time to be releasing this. So take yourself out for solitary walks. Listen to the wisdom of your body here. So this is the next card as well. So, you know, if you need to sleep, sleep. If you need to sort of take a nap, then take a nap. If you need to go for a walk on your own, do so. Okay, if you're able to get out to a cafe, wherever you are in the world and whatever you are doing, but you feel like you actually want to do that on your own, don't be afraid to actually tell whoever it is around you that you want to do it on your own. Okay, listen to the wisdom of the body. The body could be also telling you that I might have some aches and pains. Again, pay attention to that, and also ask that body part perhaps what it wants to tell you. Okay, it says here, listen to your body's messages about a person or a situation. Okay, if you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. Okay, if you're energized and happy, move forward. So, you know, body's a real good way of a barometer. All right, you know, just to give you a little example as well, I've moved 3 times since I've got to Portugal. Okay, because my body there was just so much going on in different places where I've been staying. And I felt the need to actually remove myself from a lot of gossip, a lot of toxicity, a lot of very negative people. You know, I found myself just sort of unexpectedly, you know, first day I arrived, had a lot of dramas, a lot of toxic energy. Okay, and then I went to another place and another place, and the other place was also really beautiful, but again, it was really dark and there was something very heavy about the place. You know, you just got to start listening to your body and just start taking charge of your truth. Okay, it doesn't matter what people think. Okay, what's really important is you honor yourself and start living not like you have been living in the past, but moving forward. So this is very much a message for the people with the green Aventurine, the second group, okay, which is about listening to yourself. Do look at your past to see how maybe far you've come, or maybe what you can let go of, or maybe even I'm feeling like take a glimpse of, well, take a glimpse, literally, this is what I want to say actually, and just really start moving forward. Okay, I'm feeling the need to encourage you to move forward. This is for the second band of people. So those who maybe are, you know, wallowing too much in the past as well. Now here, interesting, I've got work through your fears. So some of you actually could be also fearful about moving forward, or maybe doubting your self. Okay, if I were to read it as a line as well, we can also combine the sun. And again, this could be really important. So you bring that light energy, like the crystals in here. You can see that there's these crystals right at the core and the center of the card reading. So this is really important to work through fears, whatever the fears could be. Okay, this is very much a message for those who chose the green Aventurine. Anything else I want to sort of say? Yeah, just notice where it is your mind putting false information. Okay, particularly what's out there as well. All right, there's a lot of false media news deliberately amped up. All right, like I said, cut through the social media, cut it out if you can. quieten the mind so you can really get back to yourself and notice perhaps by doing so, you might not be as fearful and as negatively affected. All right. I am noticing that a lot with a lot of people, that you really need to go almost on a sabbatical of social media, particularly. Okay. So really just stop checking anything apart from your emails. All right. But I would just avoid the news. Certainly avoid anything that's too controversial or kind of feeding your mind and speaking to people who are negative in their thinking. Now, the card of the empowering question here I've got for the second lot is, what if everything is as it should be? Which is interesting. There's an overall theme here that really seems to be tying everything. How would make me that feel? This is also about acceptance as well. Okay, so this is sometimes what happens when we have an expectation or want things to be a certain way. Okay, and what happens is when we're not going with the flow or going with life, okay, we tend to actually create situation and create fears and create resistance and create pain and create suffering, okay, which are all fear-based as well. So this is another card which is really also affirming this card, which is in the first you know, sort of lane, if you like. What if everything is as it should be? So this is when we need to trust. There's so many people talking so much about everything at the moment, and then yet nobody's really sort of doing a great job of just accepting things as they are. Okay, so for whoever might be listening to this is really important for you to accept things as it should be. Just trust the divine intelligence has things in order, and this chaos and this sort of sense of powerlessness is part of a new birth and a new beginning wanting to come out, okay? And the more you try and control things, the more fear, okay, and the more resistance that you're creating in yourself. So for the second lot, I feel that there's really good crossover here, but very much one, accept the things that is going on, and just check in on how you might feel if you actually accept, and certainly what is going on, you know, so what, you know, just accept things are as they are. Okay, so the third lot, okay, whoever chose the Smokey Quartz here for the third pile, your first angel card is flexibility. Okay, so again, I think these tie very nicely, okay, because of course you're accepting things, you're much more flexible, and there's some sort of flexibility. For example, if you have somebody snapping at you, just bend with it, okay, just sort of bend, let their energy sort of go over you, and just bend and be flexible in what's happening. If you're feeling that things are not falling into place, or things are not moving forward, or there's certain things of, you know, rigidness there, I would really recommend you being flexible. In terms of body work as well, I think that what's really good here is for those who chose the Smokey Quartz, you might actually want to maybe do some sort of yoga or some kind of flexible body work to keep you mentally and emotionally flexible as well. Okay, because if your body's quite rigid or you're thinking all the time, we tend to get really stiff with fear. So the idea of actually doing some body practice that involves flexibility will really help. Okay. Interestingly, the surrender card here is, you know, some of you on the third one could be suffering from low self-esteem. So again, think about where your self-worth, it needs charging up, okay, and your self-esteem. It says here, you deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. So like I said, this energy of the Gemini full moon can be bringing lots of old stories up for people to look at, okay, like a dialogue in your mind that thinking, oh, I can't do this, or what's going to happen, you know, I don't have a job right now, or I'm not making any money, you know, and how am I going to get myself out of this hole, or how, you know, there are so many ways of staying centered and actually also creating something new. But the way you can start is to believe and start sort of filtering the positivity in your mind by knowing that you deserve success, you deserve love, and you deserve abundance, okay? And in doing that, you'll also open yourself up to the opportunities coming in to you. Okay, so while I'm reading this, like I said, in little group formats, this is an overarching, and like I said, you can weave the cards and take what you will of it. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. So again, if you've got an old story that somebody told you that your dreams will never come true, right? You know, you cross that out, you write it out, and you cross it with a line, and you can then put a different mantra. So my dreams now are fulfilled and coming true. Okay, so if you've got like, you know, another low self-esteem thing, I can never get things right, or people are always, you know, saying things to me that makes me feel bad. Cross that out and saying all the conversations I have with people are positive and I'm feeling great. Whatever it is that you need to do to turn it around. Okay, and again, this is very much solar plexus color, so this is to do with the solar plexus. Okay, when you have a strong sense of self as well, no matter what people do or what they say, you know, you can remain very flexible and almost bend with it. Okay, like the willow tree or the bamboo. Okay, they're very sturdy, hardy trees, if you like, but they know how to bend with the wind or the gust of what's going on around them. What I love about this particular major arcana is the birthing of something new, the Empress. She's the sovereign, the female energy and the divine feminine of transformation, bringing things to light, creativity, okay, and kind of really sort of tuning into her cycle. Okay, so this is about you tuning maybe perhaps for the third, for the Smokey crystal people, to really tune into your own rhythm. Okay, I also want to sort of say here that it is really good to go towards some water at the moment as well, or you might feel that you need to shed, or maybe you're shedding quite a few tears, or you're feeling very tearful. Again, really honor that, okay? Really honor how you feel, so you can allow a new heart growth to happen, okay? I feel like some of you can definitely do with heart healing on the third lot, which is also to do with help with your self-esteem as well. So if you actually heal your heart, okay, some of you I think could have put a shield up as well. So in some way, maybe you've been protecting yourselves too long. So maybe on this full moon, it's time for you to release that shield of protection and actually start developing a sense of fluidness and a sense of softness within your heart as well. Okay. I feel like in some way you need to nurse yourself or nourish yourself in a way, you know, and take care of all your needs as well. So it's not only mental or emotional needs, but also how you feed yourself and how you're taking care of yourself. Okay. But do trust. And I want to say that there's something about rhythm that's coming up for me with with the third pile. So I feel like some of you maybe have been conforming too much to what other people want. And this is now a time to honor your own rhythm and trust that you have what you need to take yourself into a better environment, be it physical environment as well as a mental and an emotional environment. Okay, the sovereignty is with you, and certainly the Empress is a key sign of birthing new ideas and definitely tapping into new projects. And I feel this is really across the board as well. I mean, there are significant cards from really expansion and actually also inward, the dichotomy. So some of you have got the expansion card, the Hermit card, which is one inward card, and the Empress here is the birthing card of new developments. Okay, so do some of you check out what could be growing or what could be weaving itself to you, or you can even start putting the intention of what you want to weave in your life and bring to your manifestation. Okay, now, interestingly here, I've got nothing will come of this situation. So again, maybe some of you are looking, the fear, I'm picking up on the fear was this. So maybe some of you are actually really worried about what's going to happen, okay, down the line, right? Maybe you can just be with the acceptance and see, maybe this card is confirming that nothing is going to be coming out of the situation. If some of you maybe had a specific question, this could be also that you can know that whatever it is, it's not good, nothing's going to come of it, okay? So I can't help but feel that this is more to do with a space of allowing, okay, rather than feeding it with fear or even anxiously putting too many thoughts about the future. Okay, but perhaps by letting go completely, you can also dissolve what you're sort of thinking, so nothing comes of it. Okay, our power of our minds, the power of our minds is really strong, and sometimes we can make things, I won't say make things happen, but in some way it can be self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever it could be. So the idea is just to dissolve it, just trust that nothing will come of it as well. So there's a particular message for one or two people here, that whatever your concerns are, just perhaps allow it to be and just trust that nothing will come of it. Okay, so hopefully it's not a negative message, but more of a positive one. Okay. Now, finally, for the third people on the, rather for the Smokey Quartz, okay, your empowering card here is what or who am I beneath all my roles? So again, some of you are just, you know, tied to the belief of the roles that you have to play, maybe at work or perhaps even at home, you know, or, you know, you think that, oh, because I'm a mother, I can't do this, or, you know, because, you know, my boss expects me to be, I'm everybody's go-to, and then everybody relies on me. So I'm expected to sort of produce work all the time or whatever. So, you know, you need to get down to who you are. Okay. You're not, you know, you're not the role that you've adapted or adopted into. Okay, so maybe you need to ask yourself, what or who am I beneath all my roles? And I would say this is a really good time to dismantle anything that you might feel. And in relation to nothing will come of this situation in this card as well, of what or who am I beneath all my roles? I feel like maybe you are worried about taking on a role, and perhaps maybe this is not something that you need to worry about because nothing is going to come of it as well. Perhaps you've applied for a job and you're thinking, do I really want it? But, you know, you're thinking, I need to get some money because of things have been difficult. So again, just pay attention. All right. But just know that you're not any of these roles, but you are actually of divine spirit, and you've got a soul within yourself and also connected to spirit and the spirit within you. So I wonder if there's anything else I really want to add. But looking at the overall cards here, say if I was to sort of also stitch them all up, okay, what the key message here will be to work through your fears. I do feel like there's some people really out there that need to know that your fears are actually creating a lot of old story. Okay, remain flexible with what's going out there in life, and then just trust that maybe the worst is not going to happen. And there's a lot of, I know, fear mongering going out there. And my thing actually is, it's not going to get as bad as we think it is. We're made out to feel. Okay. And I say that quite sort of bravely too. Okay. But there's just so much going on where people are just buying into the fear at the moment. I don't think anything's really going to come of it at all. But, and we also know that nothing is set in stone. We don't know what's going to happen. So the best way is to trust yourself, go inward. Okay. Tune into your own body, do what's right for you, you know, have a bath when you need one. If it's in the afternoon, so what? Okay, if you just want to actually sort of, you know, just listen to some calming music or go out dancing or moving your body, do it. Okay, do stay in the beingness of yourself. This is across the board as well. This is really good to go inward, accept what's out there. For some of you, particularly the first lot, get rid of your mental debris and your overthinking. I feel this is very much to do with that. And for those who lean towards any kind of drugs, alcohol, or anything like that excessively, or just generally as a go-to way of handling your boredom, handling your kind of relationship by not addressing things, you might find that actually you are sort of slowly but surely increased or has increased your intake of alcohol, and now it's become some kind of need. All right. Take action to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. So the healthy alternative would be to go out in nature as much as you can, get some sun rays into the body through the crown, all the way into your body, and just really embrace life and see in its full glory despite all the restrictions, because of course self-mastery is with yourself, and that is how you hold on to your full power. So I'm going to leave it here for now. This is a general reading for those who've been listening. Okay, you know, wish you all the best, wish you lots of love. Yeah, do feel free to comment, okay, and subscribe, so you know when the next full moon will be on the 30th or for the 29th of December. And we do also have a new moon. I forget now, is that on the 14th? I can't remember. We've got a new moon in December. It's going to be followed by the winter solstice as well on the 21st. And we've got a lot of planets changing signs as well. So this is a really big ending to the year. So stay tuned. There's a lots going on. Pay attention to your body and really just honor yourself. This is the best thing you can be doing right now in terms of self-empowerment and self-care. All right, lots of love, and I will catch you on my next video. Bye for now. Bye.